pronounce Vag and I'm Adam, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to install Aerofabb's Street Edition side splitters for the MK7 Golf R. They're pretty sweet. They're super solid. I love them. Huge shout out to Rich and team at Aerofabb. Their customer service is amazing. The product quality is amazing. You'll see this unboxing here, and I think you'll probably agree. Some of you probably already have their products, and maybe even this one. But I know that this is probably not what is standing out to you right now. What's probably standing out to you is this towel covering up my wheel. That's because I have a new set of wheels that I bought that I don't want to show you guys yet. I have them on the car just as I was getting this installed. I'm trying to get some pictures and video for a reveal. I also have to set up an interview with the manufacturer, basically, who I bought them from. So I'm trying to work that out, and we'll hopefully be getting that video out very soon. I'm super excited, and I've been talking for too long. So now let's get into this installation. All right, let's dive into this package. I've already cut the tape open. I've taken the staples off the ends of the boxes just so I could get into it easily with one hand. So what I'm noticing is that this is all packaged just like anything else that you get from Aerofabb. Really well done. Like, they have the side splitters in there. They're covered. They're saran wrapped down to a piece of cardboard that has bracing screwed onto it so that they won't bend during shipping, so everything stays straight. Underneath that, you'll get your hardware, instructions, sticker, and I also got another air freshener because I was really surprised at how well I liked it. I think in my last video I said, like, I've never run an air freshener in my car.
I have never, ever, ever run an air freshener in any of my cars.
So we'll get everything out here and we'll check it out. Oh yeah, that's so awesome. Got the QC sticker on there. Very good. Let's slide them out of this bag. Ooh, slap me with a pool noodle. Look at these things. I can't believe I just said that. Just quick first impressions after I'm pulling these out. Anybody who has Aerofabb products, especially the newer ones, you'll see that there's this light texture that's on it. I'm zoomed in, so it looks really heavy, but it's actually pretty light. This is different than some of their older product. This newer material has a higher scratch resistance and I guess more quality and consistency with their product and the way that they make it. You'll see the sweet Aerofabb badge down there, and that all of the edges are chamfered all the way around. And this material is about 1/4 inch thick. So it's not too chunky. So there's all the holes that are gonna go and mount it. There's 11 points that it will mount to. This is the front end, so there's a little cutout to fit around something there. We'll show some of that detail. But I also like the fact that they kind of turn this back here, so it's not gonna be just a straight out, and it's not like really aggressively cut back here. All right, so here's everything that you're gonna get in your Aerofabb hardware kit. There's the install instructions. It's actually just one page, which is enough to sort out the instructions. Your Sour Patch Kid, your Aerofabb sticker, your hardware. Always make sure, and as pointed out as the first thing in the notes, is to confirm that you have no missing hardware. Maybe I'll have some missing after I did that, but make sure you have it all. I've gone and counted all of my hardware. I have 22 screws, 22 washers. One thing I want to point out is that the washers and the screws are stainless steel hardware. Let's see if we can focus here. Look at that. They're super high detail, not high detail, but high quality. They even have the T20 head to be consistent with other, hardware that's on the car. So I'm super excited that I know these are going to last, and it's just a nice touch that they have that. When you're doing this install, you're going to need some tools and other things to get you going. You're going to need a drill with a 3/32 drill bit on there, a T20 Torx driver. You're also going to need a shop rag and some cleaning product to clean the underside of the side skirt there. And then also definitely get a helping hand. In this video, I did not have a second hand, so I was using a combination of bottle jacks and blocks of wood to help hold it up. And you know what? I did the job. So it's not totally necessary to have a second hand, but it would definitely be helpful and probably make the process go faster. I almost forgot. Make sure you have some kind of razor blade handy to trim off some of the plastic debris after you drill the pilot holes, because there's going to be some little bits of plastic hanging down. Super easy to just take a blade and just kind of slice that right off. All right, so we've got the car jacked up. Jacking it up this high is totally not necessary. I have it up over a foot high. I was able to because I have a huge jack.
Huge jackman.
I just wanted it up high enough to be able to work on it and show you guys exactly what's going on. I took the front wheel off to be able to get the jack under onto the subframe to get that front jack on. I think that if you have a set of ramps or even some wood blocking that you can drive up onto, I think that there's gonna be enough room, but just at standard stock height, I don't have any tools that are tight enough to be able to get up in there to drill holes and to do all the twisty bits. So that's why I have it jacked up this high, mostly for you guys. All right, I think Aerofabb would agree with the separation is in the preparation. So what we're gonna do is prepare by cleaning the underside of this side splitter? No, side skirt. And then we'll put on the side splitters. Anyway, there's a lot of junk under there. Make sure you get it all cleaned off. Just make sure that there's not any rocks or debris that is stuck in there that's going to make the side splitter not fit flush. The next step after doing the preparation underneath is aligning the side splitters. So here you can see some of the detail of how these cutouts are. This is for the front on the passenger side. There's a little cutout here that kind of goes around some of the fender liner, I think. And then this is the jack point in the front, jack point in the rear cutout. On some of the different models, this is for the MK7 Golf R. On some of the different models, there are different cutouts that will help align it. But basically what you're gonna do is put this underneath, align this edge to the side skirt, and then also align these cutouts. And it's gonna turn out perfect. So I've got, instead of a second hand helping me, I have a bottle jack with a little bit of 2x4 that's helping me hold that up. That's actually working pretty well. You know, I'm able to kind of shift it around and align it because I'm doing this solo today. I'm pretty excited about the fitment of this. You know, how this is working with the Rock Blocks mud flap in the front. That little cutback right there is gonna be nice. There's a little cutout for basically just matching the fender there, or not the fender, the side skirt. The cutout. There's some folks that I've talked to who had some concern about, you know, when you put these on, what does that mean for jacking up the car? Well, Aerofabb matched exactly the design of the bottom of the side skirt. So all of this is at least as far away from the jacking point as the side skirt is. So if you're not on the side skirt when you're jacking up the car, there's not going to be any problem. So I'm moving on to the step where I'm going to be drilling some pilot holes now. Obviously, the 2x4 setup I have is going to make that a little challenging. So I'm going to figure out how to rework that so I can actually drill those pilot holes that are under there, because that's not helpful since they're being covered up. But what I want to point out is that the drill bit you're going to be using is a 3/32. And now I've got this fancy kit that has all the numbers here. But even if you're unsure about, you know, what size you have, make sure to compare it against the screw. You want to make sure that the bit is slightly smaller than the base of the thread. So make sure that, you know, it's not wider than that, because then you're not going to have any grab on that material when you're going in. The instructions are very detailed. I think one thing that's going to be super helpful with getting this hardware to install correctly, you obviously want to go perfectly vertical to get the screw to go in properly. But unlike the front splitter where, you know, you kind of had to ream in and out to be able to get the hardware to slide through, you don't want this to slide through. So what I'm going to plan on doing is just do one hole in and out, and then I'm going to, you know, take the side splitter down, clean up all of the plastic debris so that there's nothing on there that is going to prevent it from sitting perfectly flush. All right, so I'm about to start pre-drilling these holes, but before I do, I'm running up and down, since I'm the only one holding this on with my buddy, the 2x4 here, running up and down just to make sure that the alignment is going to be exactly where I want it. The other thing that you want to do is that once you puncture through the side skirt, that you want to make sure you don't keep drilling through the top of the side skirt. So remember, this is just plastic, so it's not going to take a whole lot to get through there. Everything looks pretty well aligned, and I'm just going to go for it. There we go. Man, that was super easy. And notice how I'm not reaming the drill up and down. I'm just puncturing it just enough to create a pilot hole for that self-tapping screw. Modifications to the car. Modifications will get us real far. Because I have this 2x4 that is covering up all these other holes, I luckily have another bottle jack. I'm just going to do the same trick here on a place that I know I have already drilled. Not going to do it too tight, but just enough to hold it up. I need to do a little Indiana Jones swap here. Modifications are always hard. Modifications for my car. It's the best we're going to get, you guys. Let's take a look under here. All right, so here we have the Aerofabb side splitter aligning perfectly with the back of the side skirt. Here is a little bit of look at the jacking point. Wood block is in the way there, but there's nothing that interferes with that. So now I've got to go through and pre-drill the rest of the holes. Everything is still lining up. Okay, this isn't too hard. Fortunately, I have these old bottle jacks. Thanks, Dad. Sweet. Don't miss the opportunity to take your side skirt down and clean up the debris, from drilling those pilot holes. Anything like that is going to prevent it from sitting flush against your side skirt, and then you're probably going to look back and be like, oh man, I should have done that, cleaned that up. So I'm just going to take a razor blade really carefully and just slice those off. Just go along down, make sure it's all smooth. So I've got the side splitter back up into place with my bottle jacks because I'm doing this solo. In the Aerofabb instructions, they recommend using hand tools only to install this because you absolutely do not want to over tighten these screws, because if you do, then it strips out that material, and then you're going to have to figure out a different solution because you're going to need to get a bigger screw to fit in that plastic hole that you have basically stripped out. So be very, very careful. All right, so here we are now on the passenger side. We're installing all the hardware. We've got the screws with the fender washers that we are, what I'm just deciding to do is go from back to front to follow Aerofabb's install instructions, where you basically work toward the center to get these things installed. But things are getting nice and snug. It's gonna look really good. All right, so I've got all of the hardware installed now here on the passenger side, all 11 bits. This thing ain't going nowhere, man. So here's how the tail end finishes. Looks real nice. Run all the way up to the front here. And I have the rock blocks mud flaps here, but check out how they finished off this front edge here. Very nice. Chamfered all the way down to match this front splitter here.